What's up, you guys, and good morning. Jen Heward here, aka Honeybuns Fit, in her big baggy t-shirt and total pineapple hair today. Today I wanted to discuss a very important topic, and I actually get this question a lot repetitively. Even after I've done multiple videos or even done some explanation on it, I still get this question a lot from a lot of people, so why not designate a video to it? I don't think I've actually done just an actual cardio video. So I'm going to break down the 4 mistakes you are making when it comes to your cardio. Probably about 95% of you are doing these mistakes thinking that they are the correct way and wondering why you're not making progress or wondering why you've plateaued. These are going to help you get everything back on track and get you going in the right direction so you do start making progress and you have more success with your weight loss journey. You see Keela back there? Keela is doing good. She's making a lot of progress. She's walking now, or trying to. She's really pushing with her back legs, so she's doing good. So she had her checkup yesterday, and doctor said she's going to make a full recovery. They're really impressed at how much progress she's made in such a short period of time. Thanks to Mama and Papa. This happens a lot. Should I do tons of cardio to get weight loss, then stop my cardio, then do weights to get my muscle gain? The biggest mistake you could ever make when it comes to weight loss. You want to go for bulking or weight loss, and then there's maintenance too. Let's break it down. Let's start with you guys. You're just starting your weight loss journey, and you're like, you know what? I want to lose weight, I want to lose fat. So of course, you start cutting out calories and cutting out certain foods, eating specific foods, and then you start doing a lot of cardio. So let's say you just start, some of you either go by time or some of you go by miles. Some of you do like 5 miles, 8 miles. Some of you do like 45 minutes to an hour of cardio a day. And you're doing this 5 or 6 times a week. Maybe you do some core in there, maybe you do a little bit of weights, but the majority of your workout is cardio. And you start doing this, of course you're going to start getting weight loss because you're adding in exercise. You're expending more energy than you most likely, in most cases, than what you're intaking food-wise. So say you stick with this for 3 or 4 months. You're going to get a significant amount of weight loss. Depending on, especially if you just started out, it's going to drop like that. But eventually, it's going to plateau out. It's going to stop. You get quite a bit of weight loss. You're happy, but there's still a little bit that you want to get rid of, and a lot of times it's in your tummy area or maybe in the back of your butt, your arms, like in specific areas. You start noticing like spots on your body that you aren't happy with, that you want to get rid of. The reason it plateaus is because it's smart. It knows what's going in your mouth, and it knows what is going out, burning energy. You do a specific routine for a certain amount of time, your body adapts to that. Eventually it goes into survival mode. It's smart. It needs to survive. You lose a certain amount of body fat, you get to a certain amount of body fat, and your body is going to hang on to every little bit it can because you're not compensating what you're burning with what you're intaking food-wise. So the last little bit of fat you see on you, your body's hanging on to that for dear life because it needs it. It needs the energy for when you go into do all those cardio sessions. That's why you plateau. The combination of everything is not cutting it anymore. At this point, a lot of you are like, man, you get frustrated, you get overwhelmed. So what do? You either probably cut more calories and you probably increase your cardio. You might make a little bit more progress, maybe, and some of you don't. Some of you might start backtracking, start noticing you're going to start holding fat in areas you don't want. It can go either way. It depends on the person, depends on the body. So you've been doing this for 3-4 months. A lot of you maybe might be happy with the amount of weight you've lost. Now you want to go into maybe gaining weight. So you stop doing the cardio. Maybe you stop it altogether or even just do 1 or 2 sessions a week. What's going to happen? 1, 2, 3 weeks start going by. You start gaining weight again. Why is that? You started losing all the progress you just made. It's because your body has adapted, got used to that cardio routine that you'd been doing to achieve the physique that you got. You're going to have to continue that cardio session, that cardio routine in order to maintain the physique that you just got. If you are doing an hour of cardio 5 to 6 days a week for however long you've been doing it, and you want to try to make more progress, you're going to have to increase that cardio. So you might be increasing to an hour and a half, 2 hours. Who wants to do that much cardio every day? I've been there. I'm never going back there. But that's what happens when whatever you've been doing, and if you want to try to make progress, you're going to have to increase that training. You're going to have to increase that cardio in order to try to make progress. A lot of times it's not going to happen. That's why I stress so much about not doing tons of cardio to try to get weight loss. There are different ways of doing it. Might take a little more time, might have to be a little bit more work, but then you don't have to be killing yourself with cardio and doing the same boring routine over and over again. Plus, majority of the time you get muscle loss in that process. I hear a lot of you call it skinny fat. You lose muscle, you lose fat, and you're just kind of soft and flat looking. You don't want to do that because you don't want your body to adapt to that specific way of exercise. There's other ways to achieving weight loss without doing an hour of cardio a day, 5-6 times a week to get what you want. So that's where the HIIT cardio comes in. Shorter durations, but it's intervals. It's something different every single time you do a cardio session because you avoid your body adapting and plateauing to that specific routine. I highly, highly recommend, you can still do whatever you want. It's your choice, but I'm just sharing knowledge with you that's based off my own experience and experience that I've had with other clients and success that I've had with other clients by changing those routines. But you can still do what you want. I'm highly recommending not doing 45 minutes to an hour of cardio every single day for day in and day out to try to achieve weight loss. Don't do that first and then try to gain muscle, because what's going to happen is you're going to immediately gain all the fat that you just lost right back. You're not going to be gaining muscle. Not the best way to achieve weight loss and to try to gain muscle. So if a lot of you are currently doing this particular routine right now, don't freak out. What you're going to have to do is decondition your cardio. So this means whatever you're currently doing right now, because it could be different for everybody, you're going to have to take that number. So whatever that number is that you've been doing for X amount of days, you're going to have to slowly decrease that over a period of however many months that you have been doing this cardio routine. That is the best way to do it, and without your body freaking out and gaining any weight back. So you're gonna have to slowly decondition, slowly decrease this cardio, start adding in more weight training, start adding in more interval training, more weights, and get into a different routine. You're gonna minimize the amount of weight or fat that you're gonna be putting back on, and you're gonna go into a routine that you're gonna love, that you can have options and variety and be creative. You won't get bored. Your body's not gonna plateau. You're just gonna make the progress that you want. You're gonna maintain a lean and keep curves. I know this only from my own knowledge and my own experience. Currently, right now, what I'm doing is I hardly do any cardio. Hardly. If I do, it's usually 10 minutes, sprint intervals, maybe 2 times a week. Sometimes not even that. A lot of my cardio and kind of resistance training comes from my jiu-jitsu and my martial arts. Right there, that goes to show you it's something different every training session. I'm not doing the same exact routine every single day. It's always different. Every training session is different. About having variety, keeping them short, not overdoing it. It's gonna avoid you plateauing. You're gonna steer away from the negative effects that you're already trying to avoid in the first place. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna make it through it. This is a big one. This happens a lot. Yeah. A lot of you guys that do your cardio before weights, maybe because of false information or because you are too tired after weight training that you don't want to do cardio after, so you do it before. It could be a variety of number of things, the reason why you're doing cardio before. It's okay if you're doing 5-10 minutes warm up before your workout. This is not intense training sessions of cardio. This is light, something that's just getting your body warm, getting your muscles going, getting blood flowing, just gets yourself ready for your workout. And a lot of you are probably doing your full cardio sessions before you even do a weight training. You're probably doing 45 minutes or even an hour. I know a lot of people do that 30 minutes, anything 30 minutes or more, but you're actually doing a pretty intense cardio session before you even get into your weights. HIIT training follows into like sprints, and plyometrics, HIIT resistance training that you guys see me do a lot falls into the category of anaerobic. That means explosive. So you're doing something like intense for a certain amount of time, and then you're backing off and recovering, and then going intense, then recover, intense, recover. That is anaerobic. Aerobic is just, you're going more for endurance. You're just going for the long term. You're the same pace. It's not the interval training. Most of you do aerobic type cardio, which means you could be running at the same pace or doing some cardio session at the same pace for a certain period of time. You're just creating muscle endurance. You're just building up cardio. So those of you who become marathon runners, that's kind of what you're going for. I go back to, you know how I talk about food is fuel, so we talk about carbs and we talk about glucose, like glycogen. So your body stores a certain amount of glucose in your muscle tissue and your fat. Now this is what your body pulls from to use as energy for whatever exercise you're doing. Now when you're doing any form of HIIT training, resistance, weights, whatever that is, your body requires more glycogen to get you through that workout than an endurance cardio session. So think if you're doing 45 minutes to an hour of whatever your cardio is before your weight training, you're burning through that glycogen. You're basically depleting yourself. By the time you get to your weight training, you're not going to have any energy to push the amount of weight you want, but you're not going to be building muscle. You're going to be breaking down muscle tissue is what you're going to do. So, and a lot of you probably notice that when you do your cardio, a long session before you do your weight training, by the time you get to weight training, you're done. You can't even do it. You can't even think straight. You can't even get through a session. And then you're going to start believing, oh, I can't lift heavy. I can't lift weights. Or you're going to think it's too hard and you're going to give up. End up doing less weights and more cardio. It leads to less muscle and more fat storage. So doing a warm-up before is okay. 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes is okay. But what you want to do is, if you're going to do any cardio, you want to do it completely separate. It could be beginning of the day, like hours before a weight training session, so you have time to refuel and rest before that weight training, or right after your weight training session. But you're keeping it short. You're not doing 45 minutes to an hour after your weight training. You're keeping it within that 10-15 minutes range. Remember, you have to think of the whole picture, is how your diet is throughout the day, just how everything's set up. It plays a huge factor. Now, if you're not still eating enough, and you're weight training and then doing your 15 minutes cardio, you're still gonna have some negative effects from that. So everything plays a part. But at least you get in a good weight training session and you're not completely depleted, so you can make those gains and you can keep that muscle. But if you're doing a HIIT training session with your weights, you're gonna have weight resistance and cardio at the same time, that you won't really even have to do a lot of cardio. So that is our goal here. And I know this because this is what I currently do right now. I hardly do any cardio. I more do it just to keep up my cardio, my endurance. But again, I get it in all different other forms that are not cardio machines, or running 5 miles or doing an hour. Unless you're specifically going for a marathon, or you just love running and that's all you're doing and you don't care about anything else, that doesn't matter. A lot of us are trying to have curves, have muscle, and stay lean. These are going to be the better options for you and healthier options to help you achieve and be successful in that. Like I said, your body is smart, and I talked about this earlier. Fat is the first source of energy that your body is going to use for energy. So it's going to be the first thing to be preserved. So in turn, your body is going to resort to breaking down muscle tissue for energy and not fat. So you're not going to get the muscle that you want or even maintain it. You're probably going to get smaller, but you're still going to notice a still percentage of body fat that's left behind. So this, you can see how this all starts to tie in. So if you're currently doing this, if you've been doing your cardio sessions before your weight training, don't freak out. You never want to freak out with any of these, because there's always ways to get back on track again, and modifying and adjusting and doing it correctly. So if you've been doing your cardio sessions before, just shorten your sessions to like 5 or 10 minutes, 2 warm-up sessions, and then only do 15-20 minutes of HIIT cardio interval training. That means maybe 30-60 seconds really intense, and then 30 seconds recover. could be walking, it could be a slow pace, it could be literally stopping for 30 to 60 seconds before you go back into 30 and 60 or 60 seconds. Really, really intense, your max intensity of whatever cardio it is you're doing. You could only be 20 seconds. It depends on the person because your conditioning is going to be different. Each person is going to be different. You can adjust the time to whatever fits for you. Or do your cardio session completely separate from your weight training session and giving yourself time to recover, to refuel with food in between before you do that. But remember, don't be doing your hour of cardio. You gotta bring it down a little bit. Trust me, you do this, you're gonna be so much happier. You're gonna love it, and it's gonna keep you on your toes. It's gonna prevent you from plateauing. It's gonna just make it more fun, and you're gonna notice you're gonna start getting more results again. I really think a lot of people do this, and some of them don't. Some people don't even do it on purpose, and some do. Is fasted cardio. So this means doing a cardio session on an empty stomach. Now, there's nothing wrong with it, but if not done correctly, it can actually be very, very bad in the long run. Muscle loss, but also health-wise, your body and normal function. Now, a lot of people do fasted cardio for various different reasons. It could be to achieve weight loss. It could be for competitions, variety of different things. But majority of these people who do it have somebody who's coaching them, a professional who is helping them along the way with that and making sure they're getting the adequate amount of food intake, and it's all timed perfectly. There's a science to it. Their supplement intake and their timing of when they're doing the cardio. They're just not eating and just jumping in and doing a cardio session on an empty stomach. Now, I've personally have experienced fasted cardio in a lot of different ways, and it affected me very negatively because they weren't done correctly. My experiences with fasted cardio was like I'd have my last meal whatever time of at night, whatever it is. Usually it was just a protein shake. Now, think of a protein shake. I've talked about it before. A protein shake is you always liquid form. It's very fast digesting, so it's going to be in your system and utilized within a few hours. So your protein shake, you're taking a protein shake before bed, and that could be 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, then you go to sleep. Now, when you're sleeping, that's when real recovery happens. That's when your body starts restoring and recovering and repairing everything, whatever's happened during that day. You've just had this protein shake. That was your last meal. Your body's going to already have utilized everything within a few hours of sleeping. You're most likely sleeping 6 to 8 hours. Now, when you wake up, you're not eating anything. You go straight into a cardio session. Yeah, you're going to probably tap into some fat storage. You're going to kind of force your body into that. But if you're already fairly lean, or you're at that point where your body's trying to preserve fat, you're just going to break down muscle. You're just going to get muscle catabolism. Your body's just going to it's just going to destroy muscle. You're going to probably destroy your metabolism, and everything's just going to be so out of whack. Not only hormones, but everything else, the way your body functions just to survive, to be healthy, everything's just gonna get out of balance and just messed up. When I stopped doing fasted cardio sessions, my body freaked out. My metabolism did not know how to process food correctly, all it wanted to do was store fat. It didn't know how to properly burn fat cells the way it should. It was just so out of whack. I messed it up so bad. At that time too, I lost a lot of muscle. I believe I was about 118 pounds, but I wasn't 118 pounds of this curvy, lean physique. It was just, actually, Zach was very concerned at that time. He's like, your waist is like this big. He's like, this scares me. Unfortunately, I ended up having a lot of weight gain from that experience because my metabolism was just messed up, and I had to rehab myself. So basically, I had to do reverse dieting and reverse everything. I had to put all the cardio back in. I had the way I was weight training, the way I was eating. I had to start there and slowly decrease everything and increase my calories. But it took a good year for me to get back on track again, for my body to work correctly. When you go into these things, especially when it has to do with diet and cardio, and you be really, really careful. You know what it is you're doing. You're educated, or you have somebody who is educated and knows exactly what program they're putting you on, and how to get you back out of it too, and healthy and safely. Fasted cardio is a temporary thing. It's not something you want to do for the rest of your life. Some people do, but there's that but. They're doing it the right way. They're doing it correctly. They're making sure their food intake compensates with what they're doing. Everything's timed, their supplement intake, everything to make sure that they're still giving their bodies exactly what they need. So they're focusing on health too, but the fasted cardio, fasted training, some people do that, works for them. But do not just jump into doing cardio on an empty stomach every morning just because you think that's gonna help you with weight loss. Yeah, maybe it is. It's gonna damage a lot more than you think. Everyone thinks that you just have to do a certain kind of cardio. Treadmill, running, elliptical. That's all you have to do. That's what you're stuck with. No, you do not have to only do cardio machines. There are so many options of doing cardio. You do not have to sit on a machine for 10, 15 minutes if you don't want to. You can go do whatever it is. There are so many forms of cardio, and all it is about it's spiking up your heart rate. It's just getting that heart rate up, getting it to where you're like, it could be like, from my experience, a lot of my cardio comes from my martial arts. So jujitsu, it could be karate, it could be, you could go cycling outside, you could go hiking, you could go running, you could do that jump rope, you could do dancing, hip hop or ballet, salsa dancing, plyometrics, you could do kickboxing, you could do Muay Thai, you can do your weight training, you could do, there's so many forms of doing cardio. You don't have to just be on a cardio machine. I burn out on the cardio machines. If I don't have to do them, I'm not going to do them. I'm going to find different ways of cardio. I like moving around. I like changing it up. I like change. I really like change. And so having the variety, and it keeps you motivated, it keeps it exciting, and then your training sessions don't get boring. And there's so many options. You just have to put your feelers out there and find what it is you like. My point is most of us get stuck on something that we don't enjoy, and it can be the long cardio sessions, and you're like, I really hate this, but you keep doing it because you think you have to in order to look a certain way. It's just finding different ways and forms of cardio, and I find from my own experience and knowledge, guys, the best form of cardio to help maintain a lean and help keep your curves is the HIIT training. So I share a lot of videos with the different weights and the different ways of weight cardio plyometric trainings. I do cardio tips, the mistakes that you may be making or have done in the past, but you've learned from them. Congrats if you did. Will help you guys in the right direction, because I know cardio is probably the #1 question that gets asked. I know for my Fit Plan app, the first one I did, my 60-day challenge, that was the #1 question, was how much cardio I do. Do I need to add cardio? Do I need to cardio? But it wasn't added in there for a specific reason. And there's a reason why. And those of you who followed the plan exactly as it was got great results from that. But I had a lot of people add in the cardio when they shouldn't have been adding in cardio, and they weren't really happy with what the result was. My second one, the 90-day challenge, I did add cardio to that, but it was designed specifically in a certain way to coincide with exactly how the weight training was. So it wasn't I just added in a bunch of cardio. Everything works together. So that's what this whole thing is. It all works together, and when you do it right and you do it correctly, then you're just going to be successful. You're going to get exactly what you want out of it. And that's all I'm hoping for you guys, because I really care. I want to educate you guys. I want to guide you in the right direction, because I know what it is to be successful and be healthy and be happy in what you're doing. So I'm just sharing it with you guys and hoping that you can follow in those footsteps on your own path, on your own journey, and be happy and successful too. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please like the video and subscribe. Share it, because sharing is caring, I always say. And thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you on the next video. Mwah!